Hey, so welcome to another episode of Kbnt. I'm your host, Deztin Jaylon, here with my great group. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Gurpreet Singh. I just like to party.
I'm Michaela. I just like to hang and do me.
It's a good thing to do, is always do yourself.
I feel you on that.
Oh, no. Anyway, we are here to talk about criticism.
Let's do it, dog.
Sounds
You know,
good.
I'm going to criticize you on it, I guess.
Hey, let's ask the heavens above. Everybody look up and say this. No. Hey, Google, what is criticism?
According to Wikipedia, criticism is the practice of judging the merits and faults of something. The judger is called a critic.
Wow. I like that definition.
Yeah.
It sounds good. What do you think?
I think that, honestly, it sounds like pretty good. The definition as well is definitely better than the first one.
It does, right?
All of a sudden, Google just changed it up on us.
Yo, Google's always learning. She told me that.
She listened to our podcast and she was like, oh, shit.
Exactly.
Gotta change this up now.
Damn. All right. Well, so I feel as though people treat criticism as a biased statement, though.
That's
like, even though
right.
Google knows, it's like I think people themselves take it and use it as a negative.
Negative connotation to it, like a negative stigma.
Right.
I get exactly where you're coming from. I feel like there's a lot of words that actually go and have this kind of negative stigma attached to them. Like one of them is being gay. You know what I mean? Like honestly, when I think of being gay, I don't really think of homosexuals, you know, because there's a particular term for it. Why would you go ahead and like everybody like, you know, just decide to go and treat it as being like, oh, this is gay.
Right.
Being gay is supposed to be like being happy. I mean, I drink Mount Gay all the time. It's my favorite rum.
It's a good rum. You put me on to that. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, when it comes to criticism, I feel like it can be both positive or negative.
Right.
You know, like the negative or positive influence that it has on somebody ultimately depends on the person himself.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that you got to be able to be open-minded with words, because you know not all the time can you just pinpoint what something means.
Exactly. The English language is definitely tricky like that. I mean, in other languages it's kind of different, you know.
Right.
You actually have like specific words that actually mean like, you know, specific things, and that's it. But I mean, shit, you guys have like fucking 4 theirs or something.
Especially wheres and stuff. Anyway, yeah. What about you? What do you think? Do you think that criticism is being used in a negative way more so than positive?
I definitely think that criticism is used more negatively more than positively. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I see more of the negative than I see the positive.
True.
But I do agree that it just depends on the person. For example, at my work, I work at a grooming salon and we groom dogs. And I had one day one of the groomers told me like, oh, you should do this with your dog instead of this and it'll make him look better. And they were kind of giving me examples, and right away I was like, oh my god, like she's being negative to me.
Right.
She's telling me I'm doing bad. And then I was super upset about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not like brushing my dog good. My dog doesn't look good when they go home. And I was like super upset. But then I told her like, hey, like I'm upset. And she's like, oh no, like you should take it more as like a positive criticism so that you learn more things and you have better tools. And she's like, I didn't mean it in a bad way.
I like that you said that you confronted her about it to get more clarity.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So what do you guys think that someone can do personally to deal with criticism better?
I feel like personally, what it has to do with criticism and how you go and reflect upon that criticism is quite personal, depending on person to person.
Right.
There's certain criticisms that should obviously go in one ear and out the other, you know?
Yes.
But other times there's people that are genuinely trying to go ahead and inspire you in certain ways by criticizing you, even if it's a negative criticism. Like for example, there was this one, you know, like I was like 13 at the time, and I was a terrible fielder, you know, so I would like consistently.
What sport?
I played cricket.
Okay.
I played cricket actually. Now I'm retired. You know, I just living a good life, I guess.
The retired life has got to be.
Yeah, but you know, like somebody came up to me and like, you're just a terrible fielder.
Dang.
And I took that criticism in a positive way, where I worked so hard during the off season that I came back as the best fielder the next season. You know, so it just like really just depends on like how a person wants to go and interpret it. Because even negative things that people come sometimes say to you can be interpreted in a positive way. You know, it's like ultimately like, you know, people can go and give you poison and you can still get ambrosial nectar out of it. If you go ahead and you have
you'd be immune to it, right? Like, there's a way you might be immune to what it does.
Yeah, I think it's more about just going ahead and just thinking of everything as like taking the best out of things.
Right,
you know
yeah,
I
mean? I agree. Because I feel like with criticism, I definitely feel like I've received a lot of criticism at multiple points in life. But it happened so many times, I kind of overlooked it, and I allowed myself to be more, so like just let it go over my head. But I felt like once I got older, I was like, well, let me put some thought into these things. You know, let me see what truth this has. So I looked in the mirror and I was like, well, how could is this true? And I felt like what they were saying was true. Like what you said, you went to talk to them. I kind of didn't talk to because I just assumed that they were just hating.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, they're haters. I'm too cool for them. So what I'm saying is, once I got older and I seen that some of what they were saying had logic to it, I took it upon myself and I said, this is an obstacle I need to overcome. Let me get to it. And I used that as motivation to become a better me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me ask you guys another question. What is the difference between bullying somebody, like giving them a bullyish comment versus a comment of criticism? Like you could bully, okay, let me reword that question. You can bully somebody, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between bullying and criticizing?
I think it definitely has to do with the way that the person who's making the comment words it. So, for example, like with him talking about
cricket?
Is it baseball?
Cricket. It's a
criticism, cricket, you know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
What is cricket?
It's essentially like where you go ahead and you have like an insect, you know, it's the cricket insect, and
you just feed it your animal.
Yeah, you go and you like spread like a bunch of crickets on the field, and then you try to like see who catches the most. I'm just messing with you. It's a lot like baseball.
Essentially, cricket is basically.
It's a lot like baseball.
It's a mount. It's like this thing, like this wooden like beam behind the hitter. You can explain it, bro. Okay,
well, essentially it's like, you know, like how rugby, like was the original thing from where football came from.
Okay.
Cricket is the original thing where baseball came from, and they pretty much like, you know, pussied it down and made it into baseball. Like in cricket, you go and you catch with your hand. With
your normal hand?
Yeah, that's how I broke my thumb, mate. That's how I can barely bend it. Yeah, you go and you catch it with your bare hand, and you go ahead and you have a ball that's harder than a baseball. And people are allowed to hit you in cricket. Like, you know how pitchers aren't allowed to go and hit you in baseball? You can hit people in cricket. You get a base for that, yeah. No, yeah, you don't get a base for this. You just get hit until you retire hurt. Yeah, until you can't bat anymore.
Until you get into a fight, really. I mean, I kind of get mad if somebody kept hitting me.
No,
because I'm a good hitter.
You just gotta go and hit the ball away, mate. It's a ball versus you. No, hit the ball away. Let him go and go fetch the ball.
It's turned into a game of dodgeball more so, it sounds like. But with that being said.
But essentially.
I re-asked the question.
Well, I was basically saying, dang, we did venture the hell off, huh? Essentially, I was asking you, like, what is the difference between bullying and criticizing somebody? And you were saying probably how he was when he was like 13, he was playing cricket and somebody told him he was a bad outfielder and he came back.
Yeah, I just think it has to do with the way they say it. So, like if they say you just suck, you shouldn't be playing. You suck, you're never gonna let us win. That's rude and you're not doing anything to help them. So I think when you criticize someone, you can kind of it can come off mean, but there's also words after it where you know that they're trying to help you. So instead of them saying you suck, you shouldn't be playing, they could say, hey, you're not doing so good, you should try this.
Right.
So I think when you bully someone, you're just being flat out mean and you're not trying to help. And then when you criticize, you say the mean comment and then you say, but there's something you can do about it.
Right.
I kind of agree and disagree with you on that comment, to be honest, because when it comes down to criticism, I feel like it does have to do with the way that the person perceives it, right?
Yeah.
Like, in that kind of situation, when somebody told me I was one of the worst fielders and I just suck at cricket, don't come back next season, you know, kind of deal, I perceived it as like, well, I have something to prove now, you know?
Right,
so to go ahead and like overcome the obstacle, like you were saying, just go ahead and like actually be the best fielder. And next season I did get the best fielder. But a lot of times I feel like bullying has to do with the intention of what you're trying to go ahead and actually get past to somebody. Like, bullies go ahead and have the intention of bringing somebody down.
Yeah.
Where the person that criticizes, even though they may not be able to actually go ahead and figure out exactly how to put it, you know, their intention is to go ahead and bring you up.
Yeah, so we're going to take, well, before we go, if you guys are feeling bullied and you do feel that, you know, you're being disrespected and your mental capability cannot overcome it, consider consulting with somebody. Don't just go to anybody, because all people don't know how to help you. It's like asking a baseball player, how should I tackle somebody better? It's not their profession, so it might be a little more hard for them to do that. So I would say communicate with somebody. A good number to call is 1-800-273-8255. The number again is 1-800-273-8255. They will help you, and if that doesn't work, also think about going onto the Kbnt website, where you can ask a question and get some clarity, because sometimes, you know, people don't always sugarcoat it, and it's like, maybe you don't want to be sugarcoated because that's what everybody else has done, and it makes you even more mad because you know that there's something you can't fix.
We got your back.
So yeah, we'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned with Kbnt. We're back. Welcome back. This is Kbnt. I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation so far. We're just kickbacking and talking about criticism. If you didn't know, now you know.
You already know.
So we just got done talking about. Hold up, let me take my sip. I'm talking too much.
Hey, talk about getting that gay.
Mount Gay, sponsored by. I'm talking like Yoda.
Well, you have the power, mate. Feel the energy.
All right, so look, guys, we're back. We talked about what it means to be criticized, how to deal with criticism. Let's talk about where criticism comes from and whatnot. Let me state the question. The question is, when do you feel you have the right to criticize someone?
Well, I'll go ahead and start off on this if you guys don't mind.
I'm definitely down for that.
Well, when it comes down to criticism, I feel like the only way that you should feel like it's okay to criticize somebody is if that criticism, you know, is going to be perceived in a way that's going to help that person, right? If that person literally does not care about you, then why criticize them, right? There's no point in doing so.
Wait, what do you mean by criticizing? I mean, if they care about it.
Like, they have to go ahead and intentionally want to listen to you, right?
Okay.
There's no point in criticizing somebody that doesn't actually want to take that criticism in. You know what I mean? So it's okay to go and criticize your friends that actually go and respect your opinions, or to go and criticize some, you know, mentors or, you know, anybody that you're around. If they go and they want to perceive and take in that opinion, it's not okay to criticize anybody if they do not want to actually listen to you or actually take you seriously, because that criticism is not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, do you agree with that?
I agree.
That's dope.
I think if, like, let's say you're going to try to criticize someone random that you don't know, they're not going to listen and they're not going to take it in. But if you criticize someone that you do know and it's going to help them and you think that they're going to take it in a good way, as long as it's going to make them think better or want to do better, I think that's a good time.
Yeah, I feel you. For me, I think that like you were saying, and you were saying as well, like friends. I think that once it's somebody friends and closer to you, meaning like friends, uncles, family, your auntie. Hey, don't forget to tell your. You know.
Call out. I do like the MILFs.
Those type of people. And you're
talk to the MILFs.
And closer, yeah, like family, friends, and all those people. I feel like we have the right to criticize because it's like we know you. Yeah, you wouldn't be my friend if I didn't know you.
True.
Okay, but what happens if, like, now that you're talking, now I'm thinking about it. Like, for example, one of the girls I work with, like, did a haircut on the dog, and then gave the dog to the owner, and the owner had a boy dog, and she was like, "Oh my God, like, my dog with this haircut looks gay." And I wasn't there, but if I were there, like, for me, everyone's equal. We don't judge people. It's 2019. We don't even say that word anymore.
Right. Well,
if I were there, I would have been like, "Hey, it's 2019. We don't say that. You shouldn't talk like that. Like, don't do that. Why would you do that?"
Right.
So I feel like...
Well, do you want to... I mean, I could say something. Do you want to go?
Oh, dude, I feel like, you know, just the gay word itself is just very misinterpreted, you know what I mean? I would have just took it and be like, yes, he does look very gay. He's been wagging his tail the entire time. And then, you know, she would have had to correct herself, you know what I mean? At least you're making that intention for them to go in, even if it's like subconscious, they have to correct themselves and be like, hey, this is what he looks like. And be like, oh, so he looks like, how do you tell if a dog's homophobe? Like, if he's actually homosexual?
Yeah,
how do you tell that?
Anything. But to go
I've seen guy dogs rape other guy dogs.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. That dog, he liked it. No, I'm just joking. But what I'm saying, to further what you're saying in a different direction, essentially, I think that once you open that line of communication, once she gave you the dog and was like, cut it up, you know, and she gave it back, and if she wasn't, you know, you took on that challenge to make her dog look how she wanted it to look. And if she comes back and she says, nah, this wasn't right, you making it look like a girl, maybe you should take that in perspective, and she could either say, you know, I just felt like, you know, how you're saying gay could be perceived differently from me. I don't take it that way, but next time you come in, I will be sure to accommodate your dog the way that you would like more. Thank you for sharing that with me. I think that...
You know, my biggest question is, how do you actually make like a dog look more masculine? Do you like just cut around his dick to make it bigger or something? Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, do you just shave like everything off to be like, oh yeah, he has a really big one? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's the ultimate question I would ask her.
If you look at lions, the males have like a lot of hair on the head, whereas females are very just sleek and whatnot. So I think maybe if you want to take, because you know, lions are the king of the jungle or the plains.
Hey, yeah, I'm the king of the jungle every single time I'm around.
This is my guy. No, but yeah, I think that maybe that could be a way to like for animals. It's like more beefy males and not necessarily, but like you look at apes, maybe males are more. They have a bigger head, maybe, just like that type of thing. Maybe, I don't know. But that's what I would say for your friend. Yeah, so let me ask you guys a new question. I like the way you guys are doing it. Actually, let's say this. When is it a bad time? Like if you know somebody's doing something and you feel that, you know, you're going to tell them and you feel like you have the right, when is it the wrong time to feel like you have the right?
Well,
I feel like you kind of have to look at the environment and what's happening. So let's say say someone has a recital. Yeah, okay, let's say someone has a recital and they're super stressed out and they're like practicing and you can tell they're stressed out and they've already had like 3 meltdowns. Maybe you should wait until after they have their recital to give them some criticism. Or if you just say it like really nicely, like you could say, hey, you are doing great, you should try to do this. Like give a comment or a compliment with a comment instead of just going straight to the criticism, because they're already going to be stressed out, and with that mindset they might take it the wrong way. So I feel like it's a bad time to do it Right when they're super stressed out.
Let me ask you a question. This happened to me the other day. So I'm talking to the homegirl. We grew like we went to college together.
Yeah.
I transferred, so I'm not at that college anymore, but we still stayed in touch.
Yeah.
So she lives in Louisiana. I live in California.
Girl, huh?
Yeah, no, she's from Colorado, but she goes to school in Grambling. Shout out Grambling. But yeah, essentially, so what happened was it was her birthday, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm playing the video games and she's doing her thing, and I'm just like, you know, she's getting ready. It's her birthday. She's about to go to a little party.
Mm-hmm.
So she like, look. I'm like, what? I look down. She's a little overweight. She grabs it, right?
I like it.
She's like, look at this.
Yeah.
And
look at her fat.
Yeah, she puts her fat on the camera. And she's like, look at this.
That's kind of weird.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
So I did not. No, maybe she wanted to.
I don't think it's weird.
The only kind of fat I like on camera is her booty, maybe, you know?
Exactly. This is my man, but I don't think it's not. At the same time, it's not weird. But for me,
it's just girls do that.
Exactly.
Girls do that.
And I think that's how
I've never had that done to before, so maybe.
So what? Did you say something stupid?
I criticized her.
Oh my god!
You should have said that it looked sexy.
That's
the number one thing.
Girl, I'm sorry. You did not know
I'm
how
sorry to hear that. Like,
belly roll.
So I was wrong.
Just like a pimp slap to the face.
So I criticized. I was just like, you know, maybe.
I bet she didn't talk to you again.
Worse. She called me up with all her homegirls. You know how the new FaceTime is in the group. So she calls all of them. Boop 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 boop. I'm like, oh, she's calling. I was like, yo, she felt kind of upset. Why is she calling me already? Yo, they all rang me out. I'm like,
no,
but I felt like you guys are. They got down to their bottom line, and I was like, I feel like you guys are disrespecting me and her by
not at all. You disrespected her.
No,
come on, man. That's definitely disrespecting her.
But how you guys said a minute ago, if somebody is showing off something that you don't agree with, so if your friend was doing a drug that you didn't agree with, you wouldn't tell them. What I said
is always like if they are perceptive to what your criticism is, right?
But I didn't. Okay.
You know, like if she and if it doesn't literally help them in that kind of sense, if a criticism literally is not gonna go and help them, then why do it, right? There's no point in doing it.
I feel like she should lose. She should be more in shape.
Yeah, you can go and feel that way, but unless she feels that way, there's no point in criticizing. You know
I know you would feel this way. I knew you were gonna feel that.
Why are you even okay?
I think I feel the same way that she does. That's some bullshit.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is such it happens every day, all day. But it's such a controversial thing, where the boy is like, oh, I said something wrong, and the girl is like, why would you say that? But she said it herself, did she not? Did she not say, oh, look at my fat? And then you're like, yeah, you're fat. And then she's like, oh my god.
But she said, look at my fat. She didn't say, see how I'm fat. It's him.
Yeah, but girls do that. Girls are kind of dumb sometimes.
I mean, look at my fat, mate. Look at my fat.
Right. They never. Most of the time when girls say something like that, they want you to be like, no.
Yeah.
So, anyways, if she did say that, like I said earlier, you should have complimented and then criticized. So you could have said, girl, you're looking thick, you looking like a nice Snicker.
A Snicker?
I think you look good, but if you don't feel good, you should go to the gym.
Right. I like that.
That's beautifully put. I like it.
I should have paused time
quite a bit.
And said that.
You could have been like, girl, I like them bigger, but if you don't, go to the gym. So she would have been like, ah.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Rip it out, you know?
I'm going to just say this out loud. I'm very sorry. You know who you are. I'm not going to shout you out right now, but if you're watching this, I'm very sorry. I'll call you tonight.
He fucked up, dude.
I messed up.
He doesn't know.
I personally think when in doubt, just rip it out. You know, if she rips something out, you rip something out, and then it's equal.
And then it's equal. Hey.
What do you think? Is this fat too? Yo. Look at my fat.
I like this guy. All right. So yeah, this has been an episode of Kbnt. Is there anything you guys want to say to the people? Ask a question before we get out of here?
Whatever you guys have to go and ask, just let you know that criticism, regardless of what it is, it depends on your own perception. And don't let anybody bully you around. It has to do within yourself. Have faith in yourself. We have faith in you. And if you don't have faith for yourself, just give us a hit back. as well as he didn't mention that phone number earlier. Make sure that you guys call it if you need any help. Otherwise, we're here for you as well. Hashtag Gurpreet Singh or Deztin. Or what's your hashtag gonna be?
Michaela.
Michaela. Hashtag
Just
Michaela.
hashtag Michaela, you know? Get back to us.
Is there anything you want to say?
I definitely agree. I think if you're having issues, you should call that number. Some people I talk to people and it took me a couple different people to talk to find the right one. You can try them. If you don't go well with them, you can talk to us. All three of us. We're pretty nice. We're pretty cool. Des did a good job doing this show. I had a good time.
You know I got your back like chiropractic.
Yo, like, where's this guy coming from? Left field. Oh, snap. But yeah, man. This is Kbnt. We're out.
Out.
Peace and love.
Oh, that was the out.
Kbnt.
Okay.